What if I told you that your true value isn't decided by talent, luck, or intelligence, but by something far more important? This is the story of a boy who believed he was worth nothing, until he learned a lesson that changed his life forever. Rayan always wondered about his worth. Was he truly valuable, or was he just another ordinary boy? One day, his grandfather handed him a simple stone and sent him on a journey. What seemed like a meaningless task soon revealed a powerful truth, one that would change his life forever. By the end of this journey, Rayan would discover that his value was never fixed. It was just waiting to be placed in the right hands. Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by endless green fields and flowing rivers, there lived a boy named Rayan. He was thoughtful and curious, always wondering about life and his place in it. Unlike other children, who played freely and laughed without worry, Rayan often questioned his own worth. He watched as others seemed confident, full of dreams, while he remained unsure about what made him special. One evening, as the sun set behind the hills, painting the sky in warm hues of orange and pink, Rayan sat outside his home, lost in thought. His grandfather, a wise man with years of experience, noticed the look on his face. Instead of offering words of comfort, he handed Rayan a small stone. It was smooth but unremarkable, just an ordinary rock one could find anywhere. Without any explanation, he told Rayan to take it into the village and see how much someone would pay for it. Confused but obedient, Rayan took the stone and walked toward the marketplace the next morning. The village was lively, filled with merchants selling fresh fruits, vegetables, and handmade goods. People shouted prices, bargaining over baskets of grain and colorful fabrics. Holding the stone tightly, Rayan approached a vegetable seller and hesitantly showed him the rock. The old man looked at it with curiosity, then offered a few small coins for it. Rayan was surprised. The stone didn't seem special, yet someone was willing to pay for it. However, remembering his grandfather's instructions, he did not sell it. Instead, he continued walking through the village, wondering if someone else might value it more. After some time, he reached a blacksmith shop. The air was thick with smoke, and the sound of hammering echoed through the streets. The blacksmith, a large man with strong hands, glanced at the stone and saw something different. He examined its weight and texture, nodding in approval. He made an offer, a significantly higher price than the vegetable seller. Rayan was now even more confused. How could the same stone be worth more to one person than to another? Curious about what would happen next, Rayan continued his journey. He arrived at a craftsman's market, where artisans displayed their work, jewelry, sculptures, and finely woven baskets. A jeweler noticed the stone and gasped. He took out a magnifying glass, studying its texture under the morning sun. He saw potential in its shine, something the others had missed. Without hesitation, he made an offer 10 times higher than the blacksmith. Rayan stood in silence, realizing something important. Each person saw the stone differently. To one, it was worthless. To another, it had potential. And to someone else, it was a hidden treasure. But he wasn't done yet. If its value kept increasing, could it be worth even more? Determined to find out, Rayan decided to leave his village and take the stone to the grand city. The journey was long, the roads winding through mountains and rivers, but his curiosity pushed him forward. Days later, he reached the city's bustling streets, where merchants and noblemen conducted business under towering stone buildings. Rayan walked into a large shop where rare gems and artifacts were displayed. The merchant behind the counter, dressed in elegant robes, picked up the stone and examined it carefully. His eyes widened as he realized what he was holding. He offered an amount far beyond what Rayan had ever imagined. It was no longer just a stone. In the right place, it had become something of great worth. But Rayan wasn't finished. He had heard that the king himself collected rare treasures and decided to take the stone to the royal palace. It took great effort to get past the guards, but his determination was stronger than any obstacle. After much persistence, he was allowed to present the stone to the royal advisor, who examined it with fascination. Moments later, the king arrived. He took the stone in his hands, studied it under the golden candlelight, and smiled. The king saw what no one else had. He declared that the stone was priceless, something worthy of his royal collection. He offered Rayan more than he could have ever dreamed of. In that moment, the truth became clear to him. The stone had never changed. It was the same smooth rock he had taken from his grandfather. What had changed was the place where it was presented and the people who saw its value. As Rayan walked away from the palace, the weight of coins in his hands did not matter as much as the weight of the lesson in his heart. He now understood that worth was not determined by what something was, but by where it was placed and who recognized its value. When he returned home, his grandfather was waiting for him, his wise eyes filled with pride. Rayan told him everything, the different prices, the reactions, and the final offer from the king. His grandfather simply nodded, as if he had known all along. That night, as Rayan sat under the stars, he realized something even greater. The stone was not the only thing that held value. Just like the stone, people too were often judged by where they stood. Some might see them as insignificant, others might see potential, and the right place with the right people would see their true worth. He thought about how often people stayed where they were not appreciated, where they were underestimated. But just like the stone, he understood that to be valued, one must find the right place and surround themselves with those who recognize their worth. Rayan was no longer just a boy with questions. He had found his answer. The journey had changed him, not because of wealth or recognition, but because he now knew that self-worth was not determined by others. It was something one had to discover for themselves. From that day forward, he lived differently. He no longer let others define his value. He sought places where he could grow, where his abilities were appreciated, and where he could shine. He no longer questioned his worth. He knew it. And just like that simple stone that once seemed ordinary, he became something extraordinary. Rayan's story spread across the village and beyond, inspiring others to look beyond their circumstances, to seek places where they were valued, and to believe in their own potential. It was a lesson that would be passed down for generations, a lesson that everyone needed to hear at least once in their life. The journey of a single stone had taught him the greatest truth. It was never about the stone. It was about where it belonged. Rayan's journey taught him a life-changing lesson. His value was never fixed, but determined by where he placed himself. Just like the stone, people are often underestimated in the wrong places, but in the right hands, their worth is undeniable. True value is not given, it is discovered. Never settle where you are not appreciated. Find where you truly belong. How many of us stay in places where we are not valued? How many of us fail to see our own worth? Don't let others define your value. Find the right place, believe in yourself, and unlock your true potential. Like, share, and comment if this story inspired you. Subscribe for more life-changing motivational stories.